Hey guys, today we're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. Um, and we're going to start with page 202. It looks like this. And we're going to work on exercises 6 through 9. So let's identify some of these different vocabulary terms. Geometry is filled with vocabulary. And first, let's start out with it's asking for us to name a pair of skew lines, skew segments. Skew lines never intersect. They are not parallel. They go off and do crazy things forever and ever and ever. So, for example, AD and BE are not skew because they're parallel. Also, skew lines are on different planes. So AD is on this top plane, and over here CBC. They're on different planes. Parallel segments would be like AD and BE, DF and AC. Perpendicular segments, DE and EF. Perpendicular means forms right angle. Parallel planes, now we're asked for planes, flat surfaces, would be this triangle DEF and the triangle behind it, ABC. Those are parallel planes. Next, we're going to move over to page 204. And on the top of 204, you see a diagram kind of like this. And there's four main types of angles I want to talk about. And then those will prompt for us to set up some equations. The first type of angle are called corresponding angles. So what you see here is, let me label these lines. Line C and D is really important. This is the symbol for parallel. And this other line here is called a transversal. So if lines C and D are parallel, the corresponding angles would be angles that are congruent, that correspond for one part of the diagram to the other. So for example, since C and D are parallel, angle 1 and angle 5 would be the exact same measure. If angle 1 is 100 degrees, angle 5 is congruent to it. It would also be 100 degrees. Angle 2 and angle 6, again, these are parallel, so angle 2 and angle 6 would be congruent. Likewise, angle 4 and angle 8, those are congruent because they correspond to one another. They're the same, this is the bottom left part of this diagram, bottom left part, the same type of diagram. And then 3 and 7 are congruent. Those correspond. Vertical angles are formed by intersecting lines. So look for intersecting lines. 1 and 3 are vertical angles, and those would be also, they would also be congruent. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. They're across from each other like an intersection. 2 and 4 are vertical angles. And then likewise on the bottom, 5 and 7 are across from each other and vertical. And 6 and 8, vertical angles. Alternate interior angles. Now think about these two words. Alternate means they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Interior means they're inside the parallel lines. And they always form a Z. Look at this Z here. I'll highlight it with this marker. So interior angles form a letter Z. So 4 and 6, those are congruent. These are also congruent. And it's kind of a backwards Z. Maybe I'll use a different color. I guess it will work. 3 and 5 are alternate interior angles, and those are congruent. Now supplementary angles, add up to 180 degrees. So supplementary angles would be like making a straight line. 5 and 6 Now, if you think about it, since 5 and 1 are congruent, 5 and 2 would be supplementary angles as well. 6 and 7 make a straight line. Those would be corresponding angles. Now, here's a tough one. 7 is corresponding with 3, which is congruent vertical angle to 1. So 7, since 1 and 2 are next to each other supplementary, 7 and 2 would be supplementary. Whoops. I messed that up. I shouldn't have been putting congruent in here. I should have wrote these angles add up to, what did I say, 7 and 2. All of these angles add up to 180. Let me show you a couple examples. So let me show you some examples so you can see how this works. So first of all, let's try number 18. So in this diagram, 18 says angle 4 is 58 degrees and angle 6 is 58 degrees. Use the given information theorems. So we want to find all the angles. So if angle 4 is 58, let me make this diagram here. Angle, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if angle 4 is 58 degrees and angle 6 is 58 degrees, think about it. If this is 58, oops, sorry about that. If this is 58, this would be 58 because they're corresponding. Also, if this is 58, this one's 58 because they're vertical angles. If this is 58, these two angles are next to each other, forming a straight line, which is 180 degrees. 180 minus 58 is 122. Two ways to find this, making a straight line. So this is also 122, but also these are vertical angles. And it's the same thing down here. Straight line, this is 122. Vertical angle is 122. Now sometimes you get some algebra. So look at number 19. Number 19 says angle 1 is 23x plus 38. So I'll make this diagram again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 19, it says 23x plus 38. So this angle is 23x plus 38. Next, it says angle 5 is 17x plus 56. Now, it also says x equals 3, but I'm going to show you how to discover that. If they've told you that angle 1 is this expression and angle 5 is this expression, and we know that these are corresponding angles which are equal, we could take 23x plus 38 and set it equal to 17x plus 56 and solve this equation. Let's subtract 17x from both sides, that's 6x. Let's also subtract 38 from both sides. 6x equals 18, and when you divide by 6, x is, of course, as they say in the problem, 3. Now if x is 3, you can find all the other angles, because if x is 3 and this is 17 times x plus 56, 17 times 3 is 51, plus 56 is 107. And just to check my math, 23 times 3 is 69, plus 38 is, again, 107. So then this would be 107 because they're vertical angles. This would be 107. And these other two angles would be supplementary to it. So it would be 73. and 73. All right, let's do one more question. We're going to go back to the previous page. And this is number 16. This one is probably the hardest one you'll see. Now, number 16 has these two expressions. They want you to find angle DEF. Now, let's think about this. This angle here, 33x plus 35, would be equal to this angle here because they're vertical angles. And this angle would be equal to this one because they are corresponding angles. So basically, we know in number 16 that those two expressions should be equal. Again, here's why. These are equal because they're vertical angles. These two angles are equal because they're corresponding angles. So you would simply set 33x plus 35 equal to 26x plus 49. And you would solve. Subtract 26x from both sides. This is 7x plus 35 equals 49. Subtract 35. 7x equals 14. X is 2. Now, if you take x equals 2 and plug it in, 33 times 2 is 66, plus 35 is 101. 26 times 2 is 52, plus 49, 101, 101, 101, and then these other angles would be the supplement of 101, which would be 79. So give it a try, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day.